This is the thing. When Caitlin Clark got hurt, and this is going to be a WNBA issue too, not only the Fever, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark still looking like the only draw.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
These ratings are pathetic in the leagues to change the rules to make the game more enjoyable.
Breaking news is shaking the foundation of the WNBA, and the latest ratings reveal a troubling reality.
There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer.
As soon as Caitlin Clark is off the court, viewership plunges, national interest fades, and the excitement that once surrounded the league all but disappears.
The WNBA's got a real ratings problem. The ratings came out for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark game.
What's becoming clear is that the buzz wasn't truly about the WNBA itself. It was about Caitlin Clark. Now that she's sidelined, the league is left facing a hard truth that can't be ignored.
And I can't believe I got to say this out loud. Let's say this team's not good. And this is going to be a WNBA issue too, not only the Fever.
This isn't just a temporary dip in numbers. It's a full-scale Caitlin Clark crisis. In today's video, we're diving deep into the data, the reactions, and the serious challenge the WNBA now has on its hands.
The Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark still looking like the only draw.
Let's break down exactly what happened when Caitlin Clark wasn't on the floor, because the data just came in, and it's a major red flag for the WNBA.
Wednesday's Fever Mystics WNBA game averaged 357,000 viewers on NBA TV. That was without Caitlin Clark.
On May 29th, the Indiana Fever faced off against the Washington Mystics. Clark didn't play. The result? Only 357,000 people tuned in on NBA TV.
That's still way off. I mean, the previous NBA TV game against the Dream averaged 581,000 with Caitlin Clark playing. And this is going to be a WNBA issue too, not only the Fever.
Just a few weeks earlier, the same matchup aired on the same network. But Clark was in the lineup, and that broadcast drew 581,000 viewers. That's a drop of more than 220,000.
There were 300,000 viewers light versus the Indiana Fever. We know now if Caitlin Clark plays on Ion, it's a million viewer game. That's where this ended up going. As people figured out how to watch it, the Ion ratings went way up last year if Caitlin Clark played.
All because one player was missing. But the contrast goes even further. When Clark suited up against the New York Liberty, the broadcast drew over 2.2 million viewers and peaked at more than 3.2 million. Those are massive numbers. Rare territory for the WNBA.
That's the real league's problem far as resonating. They got a whole laundry list of athletes that are highly unlikable. I mean, they're just unlikable. You can't snipe at people and expect people to tune in.
Take her out of the picture, and suddenly national interest drops below 400,000 viewers. That's not just a dip, it's a collapse.
There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer. They're not watching that Asia Wilson Nike commercial, that's 30 seconds, 45 seconds of pure unadulterated vomit. It came on my screen last night and I just had this face the whole time. Well, if I had that face, everybody else did too. Shit.
Right now, no other player, not Asia Wilson, not Breanna Stewart, not even the league's super teams, is bringing that kind of audience. Clark's presence moves the needle like no one else. When she's on the court, fans are locked in. When she's not, the viewership vanishes. It's a clear and immediate effect, and it's one the league can't afford to ignore.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect, there has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Caitlin Clark's injury is going to massively affect the WNBA. It's going to massively affect the league.
Everything shifted the moment Caitlin Clark was sidelined with a quad injury. Viewership didn't simply decline, it plunged. Broadcasts without her began drawing between 300,000 and 400,000 viewers, even on major networks like ESPN and Ion. That's a staggering loss of more than half the audience in less than a week, and the damage didn't stop with TV ratings.
In fact, when Caitlin Clark's not playing, you see people turning it off or selling their tickets.
Ticket demand cratered just as quickly. Resellers slashed prices in half trying to offload seats. Fans who had spent big to see Clark were suddenly desperate to sell their tickets, often at a loss. Entire sections of arenas sat empty. One example? The Mystics moved a game to a larger arena in anticipation of Clark's appearance. But when she didn't play, thousands of seats went unsold.
We know now if Caitlin Clark plays on Ion, it's a million-viewer game. That's where this ended up going. As people figured out how to watch it, the Ion ratings went way up last year if Caitlin Clark played.
A venue built for 14,000 barely drew 11,000. What should have been a packed house turned into a missed opportunity. This wasn't a fluke. It was a clear signal. Fans aren't paying to see just any WNBA game. They're paying to see Caitlin Clark.
She is a supernova fame, a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
Without her, the energy vanishes, the anticipation dies down, and the crowds don't come. This is more than a stumble. It's a visible unraveling across the league.
The Indiana Fever have a bit of a problem because they leap knee-deep into this pride thing, and people say, well, they've been doing that. That's great. All these sports leagues have been doing it, and every single year, John Matrix and myself destroy them over it.
The fallout was felt instantly. Clark's absence had a ripple effect on viewership, ticket sales, and overall buzz. While her games drew millions, the rest of the league saw steep declines. Take the season opener between the Liberty and Aces. Despite featuring top-tier talent, it drew just 1.3 million viewers. But the moment Clark returned, numbers shot back up. 3.24 million tuned in. It's not coincidence, it's star power.
I said, I crushed my own 49ers and my own Yankees over it. You think I was going to let the Fever slide? No, I wasn't. And I won't ever. Every year we'll do this exercise over and over and over again until they stop doing it.
But the consequences weren't limited to TV. Ticket values dropped overnight. For example, a Fever versus Sky game in Chicago originally had tickets selling for $86. They fell to just $25 once it became clear Clark wouldn't play.
That all of a sudden built another layer of animosity towards this team, actually.
Clark is hurt. She's going to miss games for the first time in her WNBA career. She's got a quad strain. Left quad strain. 2 weeks out. Hasn't missed any games. Let's talk some business here for a minute, if you don't mind. Let's talk about the fact
fans canceled plans, listed their seats, and left arenas half empty. Even the league quietly adjusted, promoting last-minute tickets, but only for games where she wasn't playing. That silence speaks volumes. Clark is the main attraction, the driving force behind this surge.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Yet when she's taken hits on the court, from elbows to rough fouls, the league offers no public defense. They'll capitalize on her popularity, but won't stand by her when it matters. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA isn't just losing momentum, it's falling apart. And every game without her proves it.
WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people want to watch. Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA.
So what makes Caitlin Clark the one player who's capturing all this attention? It boils down to something the WNBA has struggled to achieve for years: pulling in the casual fan. Hardcore basketball followers will always show up, but they're not the ones driving millions of views or pushing jersey sales through the roof. That kind of momentum comes from the wider audience. The weekend sports watchers, the social media scrollers, the viewers drawn in by viral clips and headlines. And Caitlin Clark is exactly what they're looking for.
that the Mystics decided, hey, we have an idea. Let's move the game. Everybody was moving Caitlin Clark games to bigger facilities because everyone was selling tickets. There were ratings. It was a ratings bonanza. Now with Caitlin Clark not playing, what do? Well, when you change your situs, guess what? You can't change it back.
She's not just a rising star. She's a cultural force. Her college career turned her into a household name before she ever played a minute of pro ball, and that momentum followed her straight into the WNBA. She commands attention. Her plays light up social media. Her name trends on platforms that rarely mention women's basketball, and she does it consistently.
There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer. They're not watching that Asia Wilson Nike commercial, that's 30 seconds, 45 seconds of pure unadulterated vomit. It came on my screen last night and I just had this face the whole time. Well, if I had that face, everybody else did too. Shit.
Meanwhile, other top-tier athletes in the league, players like Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu, have the skills, but they haven't sparked the same level of public interest. The difference isn't just talent, it's connection. Clark brings something unique, a competitive spirit, a compelling story, and a relatability that reaches beyond traditional sports circles. That's why when she's off the floor, the excitement fades.
She is a supernova fame, a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
The WNBA has hitched its rising visibility to Caitlin Clark, and without her, there's little left holding the attention of the broader audience. But this isn't just about television ratings or attendance. Her absence is being felt throughout the entire league ecosystem. Merchandise sales have dipped, social media numbers are sliding, media coverage, which once touted a new golden era for the WNBA, is quieting down.
That all of a sudden the team's got to try to come all the way back out of it. Are you going to lose viewers because of that? That's something and the other layer was the WNBA investigation.
ESPN and ABC, once eager to spotlight every Clark game, are now far less enthusiastic about broadcasts that don't feature her. The message is loud and clear. The momentum wasn't about a league-wide boom. It was about one singular star. Without her, the air has gone out of the balloon, and the business side of the league is starting to feel the squeeze. The shift was immediate. Games that used to draw over 3 million viewers with Clark on the court barely scraped past 1 million when she was out.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
Tickets that once sold for nearly $90 were suddenly available for less than $30. Venues that couldn't keep up with demand turned quiet overnight. Trips were canceled, secondary markets flooded with listings, and the league even began quietly promoting ticket deals, only for games she wouldn't be playing in. And yet, through all of this, Caitlin Clark is left exposed.
It's going to massively affect the league.
She is the most well-known basketball player.
The boom wasn't a WNBA boom. It was a Caitlin Clark.
While her face is everywhere in WNBA marketing, she's taken hits, literally, without any public support from the league. She's targeted on the court, shoved, fouled hard, and no one steps in. They'll use her image to sell out arenas, but when she's not playing, the buzz dies and the league goes silent. No Clark, no crowd, no Clark, no spotlight. That's the reality the WNBA is now forced to confront, and they can't hide from it any longer.
The Caitlin Clark effect is going to be tabled, and we're going to find out what kind of ratings and attendance we see for the Indiana Fever.
Clark is the only driver of your business.
The WNBA's problems don't begin and end with Caitlin Clark's absence. The cracks run deeper than that. Even when games are aired nationally, many fans aren't sticking around, and that's largely due to a lack of quality in how the product's presented. Viewers are noticing sloppy broadcasts, missed plays, awkward camera work, and jarring transitions back from commercial breaks where the game has already resumed.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She is more famous than all of this generation's NBA stars.
These aren't just small hiccups. They make the league look unpolished. Networks like ION often fumble the basics, while Amazon Prime streams come across as stripped-down local coverage instead of top-tier national events.
Last night, I posted this. No way the ION network was late coming back from a break. I feel like I'm watching AA baseball productions. And look, ION's production is pretty good, but they do this kind of thing all the time. Strange angles, two up-close shots, you miss the ball off the screen, or something boneheaded like they literally showed back up after the game was back on and play was happening. In fact, they showed back up, a play happened, and there was a foul.
For a league trying to prove itself on the biggest stage, it's a bad look. Professional leagues can't afford to feel amateur, not if they want viewers to take them seriously. Then there's the on-court product. The Indiana Fever have talent, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and other skilled players. Yet without Clark, they've looked out of sync and unmotivated. Instead of stepping up, the team has often fallen flat.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! I'm so happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
When fans tune in and see a squad that plays with no urgency, no chemistry, and no clear direction, they check out fast. And when the team most associated with the league's rising star looks this unprepared, it reflects poorly not just on them, but on the league as a whole.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
Another issue that continues to divide audiences is the WNBA's persistent focus on social and political messaging. While the league has proudly aligned itself with various causes, not every fan tunes in to hear about activism. Some just want to watch the game. And when that messaging feels constant, especially in games where Clark isn't playing, a portion of the audience walks away.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
For instance, when the Fever leaned into pride-themed events during a game Clark missed, backlash online was immediate. Fans voiced their disinterest and engagement took a noticeable dip. The formula is starting to wear thin. Poor presentation, uneven gameplay, and off-court messaging that doesn't always land.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. She's so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
The league isn't just losing casual viewers. It's frustrating its loyal ones too. What's most troubling, though, is what this all exposes about the league's foundation. These aren't just dips in engagement. This is a red flag waving in plain sight.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
When one player's absence can cause such a dramatic drop in ratings, ticket sales, and overall interest, it reveals a league built on shaky ground. A sustainable league doesn't fall apart when one rookie misses a few games. And yet, that's exactly what's happening. Let's be clear. If everything depends on a single first-year player, that's not success. That's fragility.
They're like 235,000 viewers. How is that a positive? I think it was still the 10th highest rated NBA TV game, and maybe that's the positive. I don't know.
Caitlin Clark hasn't even completed her first season, yet she's carrying the weight of the entire league. TV deals are built around her. Venues are expanded just to fit her crowd. Merch sales explode when she plays. Without her, the buzz disappears. And still, some voices within the league, from coaches to players to pundits, keep insisting she's just another rookie. They say the league doesn't revolve around her, but the numbers, the cameras, the attention, they all say otherwise.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect, there has been so much of an influx in attendance and jersey sales and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
This goes beyond fan loyalty. It's a business reality. Networks like ESPN and ABC aren't hiding their intentions. They want Clark front and center because she delivers. She brings the eyeballs. She brings the revenue. That's why the Indiana Fever, despite a poor record, are getting more national TV time than almost anyone else. Meanwhile, she's absorbing hard fouls, cheap shots, and cold shoulders from veteran players. And still, the league's leadership stays silent. They'll capitalize on her popularity but won't publicly defend her when she's being physically targeted. With expansion talks underway and labor negotiations on the horizon, the stakes are high. And Caitlin Clark's short absence has already exposed just how much the league relies on her to function.
WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people want to watch. Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA.
If a couple of missed games can lead to collapsing ratings, half-empty arenas, and vanishing headlines, then this isn't a league in growth mode. It's a one-woman operation, and when that one woman sits, everything else goes dark. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA isn't just in a slump. It's in free fall. The league leans on her to generate buzz, drive revenue, and draw fans in, but gives her little in return when it matters most. She's the reason people are watching. She's the reason tickets sell out. She's the spark keeping the conversation alive. And yet when she's gone, the silence from the top says more than any press release ever could. If the WNBA wants to stay afloat, it needs to stop pretending she's just another player and start protecting the one star who's keeping the lights on.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
At the end of the day, the picture is clear. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA is on shaky ground. The ratings don't just fall, they collapse. The spotlight fades, the buzz disappears, and the national conversation moves on the second she's off the court. Pair that with inconsistent team performances, low-quality broadcasts, and messaging that pushes casual fans away, and you're left with a league struggling to hold on to its momentum.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
This goes beyond one player. It's a wake-up call for the entire organization. If the WNBA can't develop more marketable stars, improve its overall presentation, and actually engage its growing audience, then this brief surge in popularity could vanish just as fast as it came. Caitlin Clark brought millions through the door. The real question now is, can the league give them a reason to stay? What's your take? Is the WNBA facing a major crisis without Clark, or can it bounce back? Let us know in the comments, give this video a thumbs up if you're with us, and hit subscribe for more no-nonsense takes on the biggest stories in sports. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.